Good evening. Welcome to the May edition of the New Bedford Democratic City Committee. And welcome not just New Bedford people, but all you people from out of town. We try to get everybody involved because we're all working for the same goals. So we appreciate it when other people come in. And one of the things I learned years ago is if you want people to come to meetings, you feed them. So Lisa did a great job getting some food here. My wife made some wonderful cookies for us, and enjoy. But we're going to start off with John Saunders, John is running for re-election for the county commissioner in Bristol County. So give him your undivided attention, please. John, you get the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is John Saunders. I am a candidate for re-election to the Bristol County Commission. I have served the past 3 years. I'm in my 4th year of my first term. The county consists of 16 towns and 4 cities in Bristol County, and we run on a budget of a little bit over $22 million. 9.3 of that is Bristol County Agricultural High School, which I am also a trustee as well as the county commissioner, but we are trustees. There are 3 of us, John Mitchell from Fall River, Paul Kitchen from Fairhaven, and myself. People want to know what we do in county government. Well, one of the main goals right now in the county is we're trying to expand Bristol County Agricultural High School. We take in roughly 126 freshmen a year, and we turn away over 200. And it is a very, very popular school. We have almost 100% MCATS pass rating. We went to the National FFA, Future Farmers of America in Indiana. We came in first last year in the veterinary program, first in the country. It was my first experience with the FFA, and I'll never forget it because I don't think we've ever got any closer than 10th before. So we're definitely striving to move forward. We run the courthouses that have not been taken over by the state. The state uses some of our courthouses in Attleboro and Taunton, New Bedford, and Fall River. We run all those employees. You know, we sign all the paperwork every week for everybody's payroll. We run the registries of deeds in New Bedford and in Taunton and in Fall River. And we do have the Bristol County print shop here in the Registry of Deeds here in New Bedford, and we do a lot of work for towns and cities in Bristol County, but we're open and available to anybody that would like to use our services. And yes, it is a little bit cheaper than going to a printer, but today in the modern era with everybody has a printer and everybody has a computer, so printing has been on the low side, but you still need envelopes, you still need stationery. So these are some things that we do here in the county. We're in the midst of, I just had a question posed to me about the Superior Court in New Bedford that it needed a coat of paint. We're in the midst of trying to get some historical funding for both the courthouse in Taunton and the Superior Court in New Bedford, and I will bring that up at the next meeting, Mrs. Sonia. I appreciate your comments. I spend a lot of time with the Bristol County Fire Chiefs Association. Have strived to raise money for them. I am born and raised in New Bedford, one of 10 children. I spent 28 years on the Bedford City Council with budgets. The last one I saw was $228 million. So I'm certainly well aware of budget constraints and what's important and what's not to move not only the city forward, but the county as well. And I'd appreciate the support. I had a question asked to me, am I a Democrat? I've been a Democrat my whole life. And since I was 18 years old, the first day I signed up for the right to vote, and it's a special right. And I don't think anybody in my family is anything but a Democrat. And proud to be one, and proud to be here in New Bedford. I work hard for my family, and I will definitely work just as hard for you as well, the constituents here in Bristol County. And Billy is a retired New Bedford firefighter, along with my father-in-law, who spent a number of years there. But I want to tell you one story that honesty is the best policy. I was at a fire on the corner of Sawyer and North Front, and there was a kitchen fire, and it kind of got out of hand. And the lady was outside. She was frantically crying that she lived on the second floor, and she had a wallet with $700 on her bureau. And I stood there and listened to the story, and I watched that man come out of the fire with the wallet, with the $700. I'll never forget it, and the house was a total loss. And I want to say, Bill, we need more people like you. I'm glad I hope you're enjoying retirement, but you gave us the best 30-something years of your life, and I just want to say thank you very much.
Thank you very much for taking my interest up in painting and rehab of the Superior Court. I mean, it is the Lizzie Borden Courthouse, so there should be some funds definitely from historic planning. I'd like to ask you a question about Bristol Aggie. I think the Ag School is absolutely terrific there. I've been there a number of times, and I think it's a wonderful school. I'm curious, why are there predominantly females there and not more males?
I think the females have scored higher than the males that have applied to Bristol Aggie. I mean, it's a very competitive school to get into now. Wasn't years ago when I was in high school. People went to Bristol Aggie to be farmers, and maybe they weren't as studious as some of the people that went to the area high schools, but now it's very, very competitive, and women are the top scorers. And
where do the graduates tend to go to after graduation?
we had, by the way, we're in the midst of a $103 million expansion and rehab of the school to make it ADA compliant, and hasn't had anything done to it since about 1936. And so that will be spread throughout the county with the cities and towns that send students to the Aggie. I can't tell you why they pick all women, but I know it's definitely with the scores, where they rank in their school, how much attendance, delinquency they have. I mean, these are all factors that are in every high school, not just ours. But I can rest assured I don't do any of the picking of who goes to Bristol Aggie and who doesn't. But I will tell you that two things. I am also a member of the Bristol County Retirement System. We have about $680 million, probably up about $30 million from when I first got on the board. I know that we try to reach a 7%. I think last year our numbers were like 17%. And if we keep going at the rate we're going, we'll be fully funded in 10 years. And that's something. I will tell you, I don't know if anybody knows like what 111F is. If somebody goes out injured in a town, obviously New Bedford has their own retirement board, but in the towns in Bristol County, we represent all of those employees. And we had a firefighter from Westport that went on a mutual aid agreement over to Tiverton, ended up falling off the house and was almost killed. And he was probably out of work for about a year and a half, and he wasn't coming back. But in those towns, you need to pay them, and 100% of their pay while they're out service connected. So it's called 111F. They're out on 111F, but not only does the town pay them 100% of their money, they also have to pay somebody overtime to fill that position. And those are the kind of things that I've worked on to get them right in, get them to PERAC, get them approved by their doctor, and bring them right back to the board to get them retired and get them off of the budgets of the towns in Bristol County so that it can start saving them some money. Just recently, we had inquired about our health care, and my first year it went up 15%. The second year it went up 16%, and I was telling everybody I do the negotiations for the county commissioners with all the unions, and I said, we really almost have to change the figures. We're talking possibly another 12 or 13% in health care. And I said, why do we need to stay? I think we should put ourselves out there and see if, I think we get a new healthcare provider. We've saved just over $500,000 between last year and this year. And maybe that's some of the money, Mrs. Saulnier, that can be used to put some much needed help into the Superior Court in New Bedford. And I will bring that up at next Tuesday's meeting. But these are some of the things that come up. I mean, every week there's something different. I volunteer a lot in this community and in the surrounding communities. I sit on the board at the Boys Club. I personally hand out 700 turkeys at Thanksgiving with all the fixings. I do all the cooking for the New Bedford Half Marathon, after the marathon, behind the Y. I mean, I'm involved, and maybe you don't see me all the time, but it's not because I'm not busy. I mean, I have 3 children. I have one still in college. I have 2 grandchildren, and anybody knows that. When you're grandparents, you do a lot of babysitting, and you know, I love the job. I work hard for my family, as I said before, and I'll work hard for you. And I appreciate your time. I have a wake to go to, and that's all I have to say.